Alright, so you should be watching this video only if you got stuck with this first challenge, this while loop challenge, where I've given you a snippet of code in the book and I've said, okay, now take take the while loop and write around it the rest of the program to make it work. Alright, so if you did get stuck, here's one way you could do that. Now there's actually probably 5 or 6 ways to approach that problem, but I'll show you one. It's really quick and easy. And I gave you the hint, do what we did for the for loop, start a new project. So let's start our new project. I'm going to double click Visual Studio here, create new project, and we're going to create a console app again. And I'm going to call this one while loop challenge, because why not? Create, and of course it's going to rewrite for me the hello world program again. Yep, and it's still in the larger font size that I had set up last time. Let's get rid of those comments. We don't need those. Let's get rid of that std out. We don't need that. Uh-oh, it looks like it erased my close bracket too. There you go. There we go. All right, and now I'm going to copy in that little snippet. That's what I said you could do. And now let's write the rest of the program. What do we need to make this work? Well, one thing is, of course, when Visual Studio writes this thing for you, it does not know that you are going to be using the namespace std. And we are. There's our cn right there. And now what's missing here? Well, one thing, clearly we have a couple of variables, right? We have a variable called continue and a variable called answer. Now, what kind of variable is the variable continue? Well, continue, it looks like, can be either true or false. So what kind of variable is that? That is a Boolean, or bool. And we're going to need to go ahead and set it equal to something. So let's go ahead and set it equal to true right off the bat. Otherwise, well, you know what? Really quickly, let's just illustrate this. Let's not do that, and let's try to run this. Well, actually, let's try to declare it without assigning it a value, and let's see what happens. I want to do this to illustrate the error that will happen. In the meantime, though, we also know that we have this answer here, and we know that it's going to be a letter that somebody types into the computer. So what kind of variable would that be? Well, that's going to be a character, or char. Okay, so now we've declared our variables. And let's try to, I'm claiming that this will not run because we need to set that continue equal to something before it's used. So let's just run it and see what error we get. Aha, there were build errors. No, I do not want to run the last successful build. Uninitialized variable continue. There it is. See? So what's happening is the first time you're trying to use this variable and ask the program, hey, is this variable equal to true? If so, I want you to do this while loop. It's saying you haven't initialized this variable yet. So that's why we need to set it equal to something. And now we can set it equal to false, and in that case, nothing's going to happen because, here, let's set it equal to false. Because so now, the only thing this code does is run this while loop, and of course we're setting continue equal to false, and here we're doing a comparison, right? We know it's a comparison because we have the two equal signs, so it's not an assignment to a value, it's a comparison between these two values. Since this is not true, it will simply not run the loop. So let's see what happens when we run that. Hopefully I don't have any other coding errors in here. Yep, nope. So when we run that, see, it's already over. See, it didn't do anything. And now we're just back to the debuggers holding this window open for us so we can see what happened, but nothing happened. Press any key to close. So instead, what we want to do is set this equal to true. And now when we run it, it now asks us to quit. Press Q. If I press Q, and then because of the way CN works, I also have to hit Enter. So I hit Enter, and it exits. That's exactly what the code was supposed to do. All right, so that's one way to solve the problem. And the whole problem here was I gave you that little code snippet, the quote-unquote problem. There were two things. One, you needed to figure out what the variables were that you needed to declare and declare them. And this one, you needed to make an assignment to true. And then you also needed to remember that because we're using cn and cout, we need to use the standard namespace. All right, that's the challenge. There you go.